Hi folks, Thomas Henson here with thomashenson.com, and today is another episode of Big Data, Big Questions. And so today we got a question from a user around motivation to continue learning machine learning, data engineering, data science, whatever you're trying to do to kind of move forward in your career or just in learning in general. So without further ado, let's jump right in and find out about the question. So today's question comes in from a comment in YouTube, and it says, "Thanks for the tips. Currently, I'm a web developer. I was too. And I have a goal to become a machine learning engineer. It's a rough road, sure can be. After work, so the moment I get home, I'm stuck on the couch. Ever felt that way after work? And how did you overcome the tiredness?" So I feel that all the time. I mean, you can see even in some of my YouTube videos, right? Like I get busy or get, kind of don't have that consistency. So we all kind of go through those. I will show you some of the tips that I've kind of come over the years to really kind of keep that motivation going. But before we jump in it, I wanted to try to do something special for everybody watching today. So I've got a whole bunch of stickers that I've got printed up. And so I wanted to start maybe doing and kind of mailing these out to users. So anybody that's watching this, if you want to put something in the comment section here below, the first 10 comments, I will send you stickers, and I've got a couple others that I'll put together with the package. So if you would like some Big Data, Big Question stickers, put it in the comment section here below. I'll reach back out to you. So for those first 10 comments, you will get your own Big Data, Big Question stickers to put on your laptop, anywhere you want. So thanks again. So let's jump in and talk about the different tips I have for keeping motivation when learning machine learning, data engineering, data science, or anything. So the first one that I come in, and I know this is going to sound counterintuitive, but exercise. So I think that exercise is the number one tip for that. And it doesn't have to be anything complex. Like, it's not like you have to go out, join a gym, and start doing it. Something as simple as starting a 10-minute or 15-minute walk will really spur your creativity. So for me, I try to get in 30 minutes a day, but that 30 minutes can come on the rowing machine. I do heavy lifting sometimes, but I think that just taking that time out is going to give you more motivation, and it's actually going to stimulate your mind too. So it's not just about the tiredness in your body. I know it's super hard if you don't, kind of get that in when you get home, and especially like if you work a traditional like 9 to 5 or 7 to 3 or whatever it is. For something about that moment when you get home, for those first hour and a half, you're really tired, right? You just want to kind of veg out on the couch or do some other things. And so I think getting up and moving around is going to really help for that. And really, like I said, my goal is 30 minutes, but it's something that I've been doing probably, I think, since about 10 years. Like, I've been trying to, like I said, even incorporating like a 10-minute or 15-minute walk to kind of spur that creativity. And it's really powerful to do it. So I would try that one out. Number 2, so this is another trick that I've kind of ran into, and you maybe have heard the term Pomodoro, but it's where you set a 25-minute timer and you're solely focused. But I'm going to throw that out and just say, hey, it's not about the 25 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever you want to do. Like, I've gone back and forth in certain tasks, but setting a timer will help you, right? Like, time box that and say, hey, I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, maybe it's an hour. I don't know. And you can work your way up too, right? These are just tips, right? You create them for yourself. But set that as your goal to, I'm going to read for that long, right? And that's one of the things that I've been doing just in reading in general, right? Like, I set a timer to make sure every day that I'm getting in that 20 minutes of certain reading material. So set a timer, it's another good tip, and then that'll help you kind of continue on and give you that motivation where it's like, hey, I'm setting a timer, after 20 minutes I'm done. Maybe I'll want to continue on, but at least I feel like I've accomplished something. So number 3, this is going to sound really weird too, but clean your workspace. And so by cleaning your workspace, I've read a lot of things around disorder, and if you're kind of in a rut, like I've been in a rut before, I'll make sure that I clean my workspace. So I'll make sure that I clean my office, have a clean desk, and there's something about having that blank canvas, so to speak, right? And I mean, canvas, studying, whatever. But there's, work with me here on it. I promise. There's something about that area being clean. So like if I clean off my desk and have nothing on it, then when I come in, it's easy for me not to be distracted mentally to be able to come in. So there's something about that disorder in your head for you to be able to go through it. And take it to another step too. And another thing that's kind of helped me is think about it from your software perspective too. Keep it clean. Like I'll get out of whack sometimes and have like a desktop full of icons, right, or save things. Like having an order to where you save and where those files go, and then even like the VMs or using something in cloud, you know. So if you're setting up, because I know it can take a long time to, hey, I'm installing this next version of Java or this next version of Python, having those in a separate VM where you feel comfortable rolling back to a snapshot, copying those, or just blowing them away and starting over and not affecting your machine, that can be a really good tip for you and kind of make you feel better about it, right? Like, so I've got a VM, I'm starting to install Kafka, I'm going through, you know, and getting everything, and I really don't care if I mess too many things up because I've taken snapshots along the way, because these things get hard, but it just gives you that kind of clean workspace even in the software layer too. Number four, I heard this was a Jerry Seinfeld thing, but it's called never break the chain. And so never break the chain, if you kind of combine this with the, hey, I'm gonna set a timer, do 20 minutes every day, and then track how many days in a row you've done that learning that you're trying to do with machine learning or data engineering, or even setting up different environments, whether it be Kubernetes or, you know, your Hadoop environment, or maybe even, you know, just some NFS mounts to be able to run some TensorFlow, right? So being able to, you know, never break that chain from the perspective of, hey, if I've got 7 days straight in a row, if I miss one day, if I don't take that 20 minutes or that 30 minutes or that hour, I've got to start all the way over too. And there's some apps out there that can help you track this. I've got one here that's called Super Habit. So there's a free version. I paid for the full version, which I think was like $2.99. It's totally worth it. But you've probably seen it on some of my blog posts, but you can see, you know, from my perspective, you know, I've got the chain here. Let me pull it up. So you can see, like, for 2020, how often, you know, it allows you to see those chains, right? Like, hey, how often have I done this habit every day that I'm trying to create, whether it be 20 minutes learning, 30 minutes of, you know, hands-on machine learning courses. But the whole idea behind that is like, hey, you don't want to break that chain. You want to see how long you can go, right? Like, what's the longest streak you can go? Could you go 30 days straight? I don't know. On mine, I think I'm at 16, and that's a record right now for me, but I'm trying to kind of motivate and kind of continue to go on, because if I don't read today, then I have to start over and it'll take me 16 days just to get back to where I am, versus taking that 20 minutes, 30 minutes now to be able to go through and learn. All right, so the last tip. So this has helped me a ton. I read this book back in 2015. And so it's called The War of Art, not to be confused with Sun Tzu's The Art of War. So it's, you know, a play on words with that, but it's a really good book. A lot of people have recommended it. If you've listened to any kind of podcast folks doing any kind of creative work or even entrepreneurial, this is an amazing book by Steven Pressfield. So he's an established author. He's been out there, he's done a lot, and this book here is just really awesome. So just to make you feel good around, you know, kind of that motivation or procrastination that goes on when you come home. This is one of the reasons I love this book so much. So he says, the following list in no particular order of these activities is most commonly elicits the resistance. He calls the resistance procrastination, and I'll show you a little bit about that here. But he makes a list of these things, like any kind of diet or health regimen. It's like anything you're starting to improve your life is going to, you know, you're going to encounter resistance from, you know, internally, or it can be an external force too. But one of his on here, number 7, is education of any kind. So you're talking about trying to learn machine learning, come home, you're like, man, you know, I know this is a career, this is an area I'd like to go into, I've got to put some work into it, and you get home and it's just like, come on, man, just don't do it. Let me read one more excerpt from this, and I love this book. I bought the audio version too. I read it in 2015, and I continue to go back to it. Even looking and prepping for this video, I actually found some more things that were really helping me in my moment. But here's another one too, and this will just give you an example. So Steven Pressfield, The War of Art. Resistance and procrastination. So procrastination is the most common manifestation of resistance because it's the easiest to rationalize. We don't tell ourselves, I'm never going to write my symphony. Instead, we say, I'm going to write my symphony. I'm just going to start tomorrow. I'm going to learn machine learning. I'm just going to start it tomorrow. Think about it from that perspective. Like I said, this for me, I bought this book. I bought this book for other folks. I've even, got the audio version and, make writings in here through it. So definitely something that helped me, and something I probably wish I had read when I first started my blog back in 2010, right? I probably would have been more consistent and taken it to a different level. But those are the tips that I have. So recapping those: exercise, set a timer, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, hour, whatever you want to do. Clean that workspace. Never break the chain. So, make sure we're tracking it, right? And then read the War of Art, right? So, those are just some tips. Hopefully these help you in your journey. And if you have any questions or anything, make sure you put it in the comment section here below. And then if you're watching the end of this video, don't forget that if you want a sticker from Big Data Big Questions and a couple other stickers that can be awesome to put on your laptop, be one of the first 10 commenters on this video. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time on Big Data Big Questions.